What up, people? Welcome to another video. This is Marcelian, and today we're gonna have the long-awaited Ret Paladin PvP guide for patch 5.4. Okay, I'm sorry I haven't posted in quite a while. You know, IRL sometimes gets in the way of that. But anyways, let's just get straight on with the guide, okay? So, stats and reforging. First of all, have your 3% hit cap and 3% expertise cap. That's it. You cannot fuck with that, okay? Or you can choose 7% expertise cap if you never want to parry shit, okay? But for PvP, 3% hit and 3% expertise always. Now, while I moved back and forth and tried different shit in 5.4, I still believe strength is our primary stat. We scale great with it from the new gear. Strength gives us damage and transforms into spell power for heals. It's just still the #1 stat for us, so just remember that. Now for reforging shit, I find haste to be the second best after strength because of multiple factors. First, your auto attacks hit faster, thus you get more instant exorcism procs. Second, you get lower cooldowns for Judgment, Crusader Strike and Hammer of Wrath because of the Sanctity of Battle talent. And third, you cast faster and your Sensor dot ticks faster, which results in more damage. So I reforge most my shit to haste. After haste, I go for crit. It helps out with the instant heals and bursting. Mastery is good too, I am fine with it, although I didn't see a huge difference between the two damage wise. It does make a difference healing wise when choosing crit over mastery, so I go for crit. PvP resilience is 72% base shit now for everyone. You get PvP power from the new gear, so really I think that strength, haste and crit or mastery are the prime stats for Rets in this order specifically. So do reforge to haste after you get your caps straight, okay? Now for gems. For gemming, I will have to do it accordingly to the stat priority. So remember strength and haste as your primary focus, alright? Now for the meta socket, you can go with the reverberating primal diamond or the tyrannical primal diamond. I prefer the reverberating primal diamond because of the 216 strength. For red sockets, we go with the bold primordial ruby, or if you're a jewel crafter, you know, use the epic, the epic rare gem. But for those guys who are not jewel crafters, just go for bold primordial ruby for the pure strength. For yellow sockets, we go with fierce vermilion onyx for 80 strength and 160 haste. And for blue sockets, we go for tense imperial amethyst for the 80 strength and 80 PvP power. Enchants. As far as enchanting goes, on shoulders we go for greater tiger fang inscription for 200 strength and 100 critical strike. For cloak we go with superior critical strike, gives 180 to crit. For chest you can either go for plus 80 to all stats or super resilience. For bracers we go with exceptional strength, gives us 180 strength. On the gloves we get super strength for 170 strength. For the belt enchant, living steel belt buckle for an extra gem socket. For the legs, go for Angerheart leg armor, which gives 285 strength and 165 critical strike. On boots, you can either go with Pandaren step, which gives a little bit more movement speed, or you can go with plus 170 haste. I personally choose the haste one. For the weapon, I recommend Dancing Steel for, you know, the 1.6k strength proc, but I do have another two-hander which is enchanted with the Living Steel weapon chain, and I switch often between these two. Now, let's say I meet up with a, I don't know, monk rogue type comp, I will definitely choose my weapon with the Living Steel weapon chain. But until you get like two-handers, it's good to have the Dancing Steel still because of, you know, the way arena plays right now, being all bursty and shit. Talents. Okay guys, always do remember you'll have to change some of your talents or glyphs on the go. It's never a cookie cut build, it always modifies depending on what comp you are facing, okay? So the first tier is the same as before. We go for Long Arm of the Law just because the cooldown for Judgment is really low and we always spam Judgment. Add to that the Burden of Gale Glyph and we are pretty strong gap closing motherfuckers. In the second tier, go for Fist of Justice. Although Evil is a point of view is a strong CC. I don't see enough opportunity to cast it and not get countered. It would be a waste to use Aura Mastery just to be able to get one cast. Steel Hodge at a 30-second cooldown is the strongest choice here. I do miss our instant repentance though. In the third tier, Selfless Healer without a doubt, because Sacred Shield can get dispelled. Eternal Flame ticks too low, while this has an instant flash flights and good crits when healing other teammates. So no questions here, Selfless Healer. The fourth tier is one of the most situational for us in 5.4. I honestly believe all three choices are awesome. Mostly Clemency will be the way to go, but Hand of Purity will work excellent when facing Affliction Warlock teams, and Unbreakable Spirit works great against Mage Shadow Priest teams or Mage Elemental Shaman teams, when you know for sure they will want to fuck you up. So a 30-second Divine Protection and a 2.5-minute bubble will come in much more use than 2 freedoms, 2 sacks and 2 buffs. So be sure to, you know, change the shit accordingly to the comp you're facing, alright? In the fifth tier will be as ever Holy Avenger, because out of the three it is the best ability for bursting. It lines up great with wings and the damage trinket. Add some Inquisition there and you steamroll on chunks. Last year, I still recommend Holy Prism over Execution Sentence, although I see some Reds playing with ES more in 5.4. The fact that it can be dispelled really makes me choose Holy Prism, because it hits really hard, it helps with stealth themes, and it can heal single target or AoE. It's an awesome spell for us, guys. Seriously. Glyphs. One mandatory glyph is Templar's Verdict, okay, which gets you 10% damage reduction for 6 seconds after you use Templar's Verdict or Exorcism. Now, Templar's Verdict is our biggest damage dealer, and Exorcism is on top of the DPS rotation, so fuck yeah, we're always using these abilities. Makes sense to get damage reduction while we're at it. Second one would be the Glyph of Burden of Guilt. Judgment slows down motherfuckers for 50% for 2 seconds. Add this with the Long Arm of the Law talent and we can catch pretty much every class in the game, no problem. The third glyph is really a matter of choice depending on what comp you're facing. Now this is the glyph that I always change. So if I'm facing a wizard comp, for example, I will go for Glyph of Double Jeopardy or Glyph of Word of Glory. Both of them are increased DPS glyphs. If I face a melee cleave, I will get Glyph of Divine Protection for that 20% physical damage reduction. Okay guys, so I guess this pretty much covers it all. If you do have any questions, please throw them out in the comments. And if you found this useful, if this helped you, please be sure to, to like the video, share it with your friends, be a little bit active, and always click that subscribe button. Alright, thank you very much for watching, guys. Peace out.